there's plenty in life to complain about. And while some people would prefer to take the high road and say, hey, let me just accept everything in life, the good and the bad, and just soldier on this program, when we feel like it's warranted, we like to complain.
Oh, yeah.
And so today, let us complain about the 5 things we find unattractive in the opposite gender.
Woo! Only 5.
Mr. Daniel Omara.
Yes.
Just 5.
Just 5?
Yeah. Don't get too carried away.
I am not going to lie to you.
5 things.
5 things. Okay, confusion. I'm not going to lie to you.
Confusion. Confusion about what?
Generally, not knowing what it is you want or what you're trying to do is one of those things that's a major put-off for me.
Oh, so ladies have that problem of really not knowing what they want.
They have a problem of not knowing what they want and pinning it on you.
Well, actually, I take the view that they do know what they want, except they know what they want in the moment.
Okay.
I think the problem as men is that we project this aspect of how men think, which is men might look at a broader picture of any situation and say, okay, this shall lead to this, that shall lead to this, that shall lead to this. Therefore, if I'm to make a decision, I need to factor all those things and come up with a position that I can at least be at peace with and just roll with it. Calm, good or bad. With women, it's more like, here's what I want now. And if tomorrow I feel like I want something else, I also want it now. And if I want the next thing after that, I want it now. And you are not allowed to hold them accountable to any previously held opinions or aspirations, because she lives in the moment. She's a creature of emotions.
And that's what bores me.
Right.
I can't live like that. Like, I can't deal with people who are loyal to their feelings. As in, now I feel like these things have to
Well,
change.
there's nothing you can do.
There's something I can do.
What?
Avoid them.
How successfully can you do that?
Well, it helps to be in a position where you are the main feeling. I don't know how to put it better, but it helps to be in a position where you are the main feeling. Where the decisions are made around you.
Okay, do you mean that keeping them at arm's length, or that you embody their attitudes, which is to also make it about your feelings and your emotions? Because quite often, when we are trying to be considerate about the broader picture, we are usually taking other people into account.
Yes.
And so you think men should start doing the same, where we put our needs first and foremost at all times?
I would not recommend that, especially if you're raising a family, right? But if it's, let's say, the talking phase or the dating phase, I think it's something you can do. Just because I watch all these videos and women like, I choose me, which is the second thing, selfishness. I choose me all the time. It's always me. And I'm like, okay, cool.
You know the funny thing?
You can do that as well.
What's so funny is that they do it in a way that almost seems, first of all, it's self-aggrandizing, but they do it in a way that makes it seem righteous that they are doing that. That they can walk away from a family and leave children behind, and she'll just be looking at the camera going, but I felt
my mental health,
my needs. I didn't feel like me anymore.
And then they always play the card, years of oppression, it is time for us to be free. And I'm like,
I was in a toxic situation. Their favorite buzzword. You know,
toxicity for them is just something.
Inconvenience.
Inconvenience, and someone who doesn't echo their opinion.
Right, then you're toxic.
Yeah. If someone says I want to live free and go wherever I want and I don't owe you an explanation, and you say, hey, you have to explain to your partner where you're going, you're toxic. So those are the things that really bore me.
Well, you know, they seem to not like it when men embody those same characteristics, when men also try to make it all about them. And ironically, when men act like that, they tend to carry the day. I mean, look at all the men there pining over the players, the guys that ghost them. These are guys who put themselves first.
The F-boys.
I feel like these are guys who know how to give women a taste of their own medicine. And maybe that's why they hate it.
It's not the best type of guy, to be honest, because that's you just emulating someone else's, how can I put it, emotional structure, if I can put it that way. But sometimes it works. And that's why being a bachelor is more beneficial nowadays. It's like you just live free. It's a thing of I'm putting myself first. If you're coming into my life, you play by my rules.
Right.
Because that's essentially what women do.
Exactly.
Because the burden of pursuit is on the men. Yeah, but when you reverse the card and it's on them, they're like, oh my goodness, you're unappreciative, and you're like, wait, hasn't this been you the whole time?
But I think the tide is turning. I do think a lot more men are beginning to understand that really that is how you should live.
Yeah.
Because, and it may sound ironic and unintuitive, but counterintuitive, but when you put yourself first, actually women respond better to you.
Way better.
Because your woman will respect you more when she sees that you are putting your priorities ahead of hers. And it doesn't mean you must therefore be cruel to her.
No.
Or mistreat her, but it just means that if something she wants goes against what something he wants, what he wants is what prevails.
Someone told me women need guidance, and the only way you can guide a woman is by being in charge of your own life. And a lot of men aren't. A lot of guys are lost. They're also trying to find their way. But the guys who are steady and know what's up, and he says, okay, for me, this is my life. This is how I do things.
Right.
This is how I operate. Don't come into my house and start rearranging things without my permission. You need to understand these rules. This is how things operate.
Wait, but some people might say it's about compromise. What are you, a dictator?
I am a dictator because it's about compromise at a certain stage in the relationship.
Yeah.
But if you're coming into my life, you have to play by my rules.
Or else you're not welcome.
Until we become one, until we share the life, then I can say, okay, fine, we can now share the decision making, but still, I'm in charge.
Well, I started off the segment by talking about what are the 5 things about the opposite gender that piss us off. But I think, this qualifies as the one encapsulating gripe that most men would have. And all other gripes would fall somewhere under this one.
Yes,
So,
a lack of acceptance for leadership. It's
what was that, As Good As It Gets, Jack Nicholson? Some chick stops him. He's a writer. Oh my God, you're such a good writer. You write women so well. How do you write women? And he says, simple. I think of a man and I remove reason and accountability.
okay, that is savage.